and welcome back to Weeby Kids Yoga. If this is your first time with us, please be sure to read and check out our introduction to Yoga with Weeby Kids, link above, so that you know what we're all about. And if you're coming back, welcome, welcome. Now, today we are going to be looking at a mindfulness technique, which is really good to use with children, but tip, even adults can take something away from this activity too. So the mindfulness technique that we're going to look at today is sometimes called a high five. It's sometimes called handy hand breathing technique. It comes by in many different names. But essentially, it is using your hands and your breathing. It's important when doing this that you consider your own breathing pattern, not the one that I'm going to be tapping out, which you're about to see, because it's really important that you listen to yourself in all of our activities. But I'm just going to teach you how it works. So you're going to have your hand, you can face it to yourself. I'm going to turn it this way so that you can see what we're going to do. You're going to take the first finger on your other hand and you are going to be tracing around the outline of your hand, as though your finger here is a bit like a pencil or a pen, drawing around those fingers as it rises up and down and back round. Now we're going to be doing this 5 times because we've got 5 fingers. Each one of our digits is going to represent a breath. We're going to take an in-breath on the ups, have a very brief pause at the top before we breathe out on the down. Have a brief pause. Breathe in on the up, brief pause, out on the down, brief pause. Now, you may have noticed that the count is the same on the way in as it is on the way out. Now, clearly that is what you're hoping for. You're hoping to have your breath in and your breath out the same length of time. It's an ideal. Many people who maybe have any breathing issues may find that quite difficult to complete. And of course, you listen to yourself, not what you are meant to be doing. So if you breathe in 1, 2, pause, and breathe out 1, pause, or breathe in 1, 2, 3, pause, and out 1, 2, just notice it. All you need for this activity is a comfortable place to sit, however that may be for you, crossed legs, on your knees, that's entirely up to you. And if you think you might be cold, maybe a nice blanket. So perhaps you're going to be sitting on a sofa, or maybe you are going to be seated on your bed, or perhaps you've chosen a nice quiet sit spot outdoors somewhere just to take a few moments of mindfulness. So breathing in, 2, 3, pause, out, 2, 3, pause, 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 in, 2, 3, pause, out, 2, 3, pause. And back to your normal breathing pattern. Breathing in, 2, 3, pause, out, 2, 3, pause, 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 and back to your normal breathing pattern. You may find some days that your in and out breath is faster. You can practice this if you want. You can go for a run around or do something active and then do your breathing just by following your ordinary breathing pattern. And you will see how much faster it is perhaps than Maybe if you've just gently woken up in the morning and you're going to do a little bit of breathing just to bring yourself into the day. Then you're going to see a much slower, calmer pattern. And it's good to notice these changes and when they are and how they appear and when they appear. And it means that by having that awareness of how that feels, even as a young child, you know that you're calmer in the morning, or maybe just before you go to bed, or if you're not feeling calm just before going to bed. And you can tell that just by tuning in and listening to your own breathing. Now, my child likes to do both hands, and we'll start on one hand and insist on doing the other, because it takes sometimes more than one hand for the breath to start to calm. And that's fine too. You have to find what works for you and what works for your child. I really hope that you learned something about yourself and your own breathing patterns, how, when, all those other things through doing this wonderful mindfulness technique. And I hope that they help to bring you and yours a moment or two of calm wherever you are. Take care. Bye from Weeby Kids.